Okay, Google Meet's having issues, YouTube is having issues, so we'll try it this way. So for the lab station models, all you have to do is read through, okay? This right here tells you what you're doing. Hopefully you can see the pointer going around here. The center circle here is the amount of cloud cover or sky cover. Okay, we'll be using that. We'll be using wind speed and wind direction. That's these two here. And that is the stick with the two what they call flags or other sticks coming off of it. Okay, and each stick tells you how much wind there is, how fast the wind is going. The next thing is temperature. Temperature will be the number at the top left of the diagram. Okay, in this case it's 34. We're not doing visibility. We are doing present weather. The present weather here is 2 asterisks, which are the star thingies, and that means snow. Okay, 2 would be moderate snow. Dew point is the next one, so that's the number bottom left here. In this case, it's 32. All right, we'll be using that. We're not using cloud type. We're not using the height of clouds. We're not using any of that stuff there. When you come up to here, we are using barometric tendency, which is air pressure or barometric pressure. So in this case, it's going up to the right. So that would mean that it's rising. Okay, if it was going down to the right, it would mean it was falling. And if there's just a straight dash line here, that means it's steady. Okay, the amount of barometric change we're not using. We are using barometric pressure or air pressure. Okay, that's this number here, 147, and that's an abbreviated term. We'll discuss that in a minute on how to adjust that. Okay, not using cloud types, not using any of that other information, but these are all always the same. Temperature will always be found at the top left, dew point at the bottom left, barometric pressure at the top right, all right, and barometric tendency in that middle section there. Vocab, make sure that you're filling out the vocab for this unit. So make sure it's weather, wind speed. What is wind speed? What is wind direction? Wind direction always comes from the north. Or sorry, wind is always named for the direction it comes from. If it's coming from the north, then it'll be a north wind. Okay. All right, down in procedures, again, this just tells you a little bit. It says for the narrow vertical reference tables, labeled pressure. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it on there where it wasn't blurry, so I gave you a separate one. It's under the materials section for this unit, same place where you got your notes. Okay, and it's titled MB table. Okay, barometric pressure BP table, and it is you're using millibars, which is MBs. Okay, and that is the left-hand column that you'll need. All right. Calculating air pressure, you can do coding and decoding. It does give you directions to do both, and then you have a couple problems that you have to answer. So for here, you would take the 10 off, and it would be 227. All right. That's all you're doing to decode that. All right, or encode that. Now you're going to decode it. And this is more what we use is the decoding. So if the pressure is 500 or more, you're going to add a 9 to the front or left-hand side of the number. Okay, and then you're going to put a decimal between the last 2 numbers on the right. If your number is less than 500, you're going to add a 10 to the front of it. And again, you're going to put the decimal in between the last 2 numbers on the right. And it does give you an example of that. Okay. Their example here is if you had 146, you would add a 10 to the front, put the decimal between the last 2, so you get 1014.6. Okay, so you just have to follow those examples to do those 3 questions for number 4. Pass pressure, again, we're not really using. Okay, we are just doing truly tendency. If it's rising to the right, that means it's rising. If it's down into the right, that means the barometer or barometric pressure is falling. And then if there's just a dash line, that means it's steady. Okay, so you should be able to do that. Temperature and dew point, again, dew point, everything's usually in Fahrenheit here because we always use Fahrenheit. You do not need to convert it to Celsius. I know it says it on here. I just took that part out. You don't have to convert. Just put the temperature, whatever temperature it says there, just put that down. Dew point can never be higher than your temperature. Okay, so if you have that, then it's wrong, and you got to recheck your numbers. Wind direction, again, wind direction is the stick that comes out of the center, and it will have lines on it, or flags, what they call them. a half a flag or a short flag is 5 knots or 5 miles per hour. We're going to use those interchangeably because each knot is 1.2 miles per hour. So until you get into heavy winds, it's not really a difference. So you can do miles per hour or knots. The abbreviation for knots is KNT. Okay. Each long line or long flag is 10 knots. And then if they have a blackened in triangle, that would be 50 knots or 50 miles an hour. Oops, sorry about that. Go back. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. Cloud cover. So this is the circle in the center of your station model. They have it as, this is a clear sky. Okay, well, there's no cloudless. This is clear. Clear would mean that maybe there's a few wispy clouds. It doesn't really matter much. This is slight cloud cover or partially cloudy. You can also say 1/4. This is, again, partially cloudy. It's a half. This is mostly cloudy, 3/4. This is completely overcast. And then this would be your sky was obscured, like if you were having a snowstorm, rainstorm, it was heavy fog. You couldn't even see the sky to know what was going on, okay? So those are your things. Again, you can use the fractions or you can use their terms. All right, precipitation. Here's just some of the symbols that you can use. And again, I gave you the weather reference sheets back there on the tab with the notes. So there are more of these, but these are the generic ones that are used on this paper here. Okay. Rain is the dot. Snow, again, is the asterisk. It kind of looks like a snowflake. Drizzle is a comma or an apostrophe. Freezing rain is, again, that kind of half of a infinity sign with the dot in it. And freezing drizzle would be the same thing, half an infinity sign with the comma or apostrophe in it. You have a rain shower, snow shower. Here's your thunderstorms. If it has a dot on top, then it's a rain thunderstorm. If it has the asterisk on top, then it's a snow thunder or thunder snow. You can have fog, you can have haze, you can have all that good stuff. Okay, so you just have to refer back to this so you know what you're doing. Let's come on. Okay, station models. So here's your first station model that you're looking at. The first question is wind direction. So remember that north is up, east is to the right, south is down, and west is to the left. Okay, so in this case, it's kind of pointing up and to the right, so that would be northeast. Okay, was your wind direction. Your wind speed, because you have 2 full flags and 1 half a flag, so that's 25. Remember, it's 10, 20, and then 5 more, so 25 miles an hour. Okay. Temperature is top left, so that's 46. Dew point is bottom left, so that's 45. And again, that'll be in Fahrenheit for us U.S. people because we don't like metric. Okay. Present barometer reading, again, you have 096, so that means it's less than 500. So you have to add a 10 to the front. So in this case, it would be 1009.8. Okay. And then you have this, it looks like -6. Technically, this minus sign is just a level sign for your tendency, so your barometer is steady. Okay, and then you have another question down here to go with that, question example 2. So you're going to do the same thing with that. And then you have a few more here to decode and figure out the weather conditions. Make sure you're decoding the pressure. And making sure that you have what it's supposed to be, whether it's over 500 or less than 500. Now, station 3 has a couple extra symbols on it, again, that you don't need. Okay, so make sure that you don't use whatever extraneous information is there. We're not looking for those things right now, so we're not using those. Okay, so you have to record what it asks you to record. And you're going to do that in this table right here. All right, just type your answers in there, and you'll be good to go. All right, the bottom here. So this map right here, I did put it at the bottom of this page, but I also had a request to put it on separately, so I actually made a Google slide for that, so you can see it full size. Lowest temperature reported, remember temperature is top left, dew point is bottom left. There may not be a dew point. There may not be an air pressure. There may not be, if there's no wind, there isn't going to be a wind speed. They're going to be calm or no wind. Okay, so if there's something not there, then it's either not available, NA, or not reported. Okay, and you just have to record that in your table here. All right, so that's all you got to do there. Part 4, these are labeled. This is A, B, C is down here, D is up here, E is at the top, E, F, for some reason G goes over here, and then H, and then I. It does tell you that north is straight up, so that you have those bearings there. So just make sure when you're doing your wind, you do that. Again, if something's not reported, then you don't have to worry about it. You say not reported. Okay, but everything that's asking questions, which stations have a wind speed of 20 knots, you're going to give me, I don't know, whatever note letters it is. You're going to give me those. There is more than one because it does say stations, not station. Okay, so that should be a clue to you that you're looking for more than one. All right, so that's it. And again, if you have it, there isn't a large copy here of the map for 3. Otherwise, there's a whole separate slide now listed in Google Classroom with this lab so that you can get the information that you need. Okay, so hopefully this helps you out. The station model, again, refer back to this. Refer to your reference sheet. It has everything that you are going to need. The numbers and things are always in the same place. The only thing that changes is the wind. Okay, and the wind depends on which direction it's coming from. All right, so let me know if you have any more questions, and I'll help you out.